So Faith Goldie was at an event on Monday at the Trent University, and it was titled "It's Okay to Be Against Whiteness," and this is in response to uh, those flyers that went around Canadian universities that said it's okay to be white. So clearly, they thought they needed to re-educate the public and teach them the ideas of whiteness and how oppressive it is, right? But luckily, there was actually a lot of backlash from the public, the general public, from this. Like the students, they supported it, but that's because, they're indoctrinated, so of course they're gonna like it. But it's a good sign that the general population, when they hear this type of like nonsense, or like they immediately reject it. So that is a good sign, right? But it is also a sign that our educational systems are overrun by like communists, right? Like the concept of whiteness just means capitalism, individualism, meritocracy, pretty much everything that has built the societies in the West and it has made them what they are today. So everything that is opposite to communism and socialism, what these people preach all the time. So like there's even a part in an article that, one of his statements where he's like, whiteness upholds systems of power like capitalism and patriarchy, and as we continue accessing and acknowledging the privilege of being white, we help to uphold these oppressive systems. So he's saying that capitalism is an oppressive system. So clearly we know this guy is a fucking Marxist or some shit, right? Because capitalism has raised people out of poverty, has raised them, like, it is literally probably the best idea that all humanity has pretty much ever come up with. Like, it is the best form or the best system of, structuring our societies that we've ever invented. So to say that is just insane. It's not an oppressive system. What is oppressive is what these people want in the end. Like everything really that is against capitalism is authoritarianism. And that is what you are preaching. If you are preaching against capitalism, then you are preaching for an authoritarian state, regardless of whether you want to be run by communes in a communist society. That is what will happen. So just be aware of that, first of all. But, these people have infiltrated our education systems. But it's a good thing that the public in general is against it. So that is a silver lining, right? But there was a few other things he said within the talk, like I recommend you watch it yourself because it's pretty ridiculous. But he brought up, the rise in identitarianism and how that's because of whiteness and stuff. But that's not true. The rise in identitarianism is because of the left pushing collectivism on people, pushing wedge issues, always using race as something, to leverage against each other. Like, they are the ones who are pitting groups against each other. So when white people are more individualistic because of our culture and shit, then we see all these groups collectivizing up against us. What do you expect is going to happen eventually? They're going to be like, okay, maybe we should collectivize too, because it seems to me that all of these groups are collectivizing against me. So that is why there is a rise in identitarianism. And he also brought up like Black Panther and why there was such a big deal with that and whiteness. It's like, no, liberals are the ones who made a big deal about it. They are the ones that do that. So if anything, you guys are the racist ones. Nobody gave a shit about that. You are the ones who are like, oh my god, this is amazing. Nothing has ever been done like this when it has. Like, nobody gave a shit but you guys. And, then he's blaming the fact that Asians want rounder eyes because of movies and television. Because, oh, there's so many white people on TV, so now Asians want round eyes. It's like, man, Asians, they want a lot of things. They want to be taller. They get like knee extensions to be a couple inches taller, right? Stop blaming white people in white movies because they're good. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, a lot of these other cultures want to watch Western movies, and they're blaming white people, but in Asia, there was like tons of racism towards that Black Panther movie, right? Nobody's speaking about that. So clearly they want to watch white people. So let them, you know? And they act like in Canada and all this shit. It's like, why are there so many white people on TV? It's like we're 77% of the population still. Like, I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. But clearly they do understand, and they're just using this shit as a cover for their Marxism. It's they can't really do the whole bourgeoisie, worker thing anymore. Now it's white people and whiteness against everybody else. But that is essentially the same thing. It's capitalism against socialism, and we can't let these fucking socialist scum win. But luckily, like I said before, there was a large rejection to this. So the only people susceptible are college-educated kids and younger. And once these people actually get a little bit of life experience, then a lot of their socialism drops off. Because they're like, whoa, the real world isn't what these retarded fucking teachers have been telling me, right? So... But that's all I pretty much had to say, and good thing that Faith Goldie was there reporting on that. Good job on her, and she does do a lot of good work, and so is Lauren Southern, and it's a good thing that we have these people around, and same with a lot of other reporters I'm probably forgetting, like Tim Pool and stuff. But, they're not just doing it for shekels, right? Like a lot of people say, oh, just for shekels. Like, clearly they are actually doing something, and I recommend you watch the video yourself just to get an idea of how decrepit and fuck this guy's mind is. Like, and he was playing the race politics. He brought in this Bushi case with this native guy who got shot by this white farmer because of this guy. He went on his property, trespassed, and he accidentally shot him. It turned his big international case. Trudeau weighed in on it. They're like, oh, justice was not served. Essentially, this white man should have served, but our racist court system allowed him to get free because of whiteness. So it's just another way to shame people, shame white people, and get them to give up the resources to the government, to people, to redistribute it to other people. That is their tactics, and people will see through it and are starting to see through it. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.